So it's been approximately, what, 2 weeks since the third trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 has been dropped. And after everyone gave their little analysis over the video, with their saturated thumbnails and yellow arrows going over certain things that they think we may have missed, I think it'd probably be a good time for me to give out my opinion. 2 weeks late, but, better late than never, and oppose it, towards, when the game releases in October, because I feel as though that would be a dumb move to make. So I actually just want to go over one thing that interested me in particular that's very relevant within the first Red Dead Redemption game, and that is Dutch's betrayal towards John Marston, the original protagonist for Red Dead Redemption, and how Rockstar may sort of go over it within Red Dead Redemption 2 through Arthur Morgan's perspective, hopefully, because we already know it's going to happen, and John talks about it multiple times within Red Dead Redemption, and how he's sort of griefing over, I guess you could say. But yeah, let's just go ahead and just talk about it, cowboys.
My name is Jeff.
Now, for those of you who do not know who Dutch van der Linde is, let me just go ahead and keep it short and simple. To start off with, he's one of the main antagonists within Red Dead Redemption. He's also the former leader of Dutch's gang, and he used to be an associate with John until, supposedly John became his own master, technically speaking, after a certain event, which, ended up John being left to die while the others skittled away free, into the rising sun and whatnot. And afterwards John became a farmer and decided to hunt his former gang members, brothers, I guess you could say at this point, not really brothers, just associates that you would not necessarily get along with. It's almost like work. You work with people that you may or may not like and all that other stuff, and then when shit hits the fan, someone decides to put the blame on someone else because that's just how it is. Now, of course, in Red Dead Redemption 2, we're going to see, Dutch's gang, how they perform well with each other, what you can do with each other, of course, through the eyes of Arthur Morgan, since he's going to be the main protagonist, and since there's, switching to different characters, thank God, we'll, be able to see, a little more in depth as to how Dutch operated his gang, carefully before, he became insane and whatnot. Because how do you go for something that's, elegant and sort of carefree to someone who's literally woke up on the dark side of the moon? I mean, just from that, it just makes you wonder what the hell happened. One of the reasons that actually triggered me to do this was because in the third trailer, there was a scene, and I was very skeptical about this scene in particular because I thought that was not John at first until people started to put the comparison together to the point where it was John, and how he was being held hostage outside of somewhere in the town, I guess you could say. And that sort of got me thinking, because John didn't mention that he was left for dead by the group, but we just don't know where it happened, where it occurred. We know what happened and what ensued, but we don't necessarily know why. John states that, they had a chance to save him, but they chose not to. And there is, I guess you could say specific evidence, like small little details as to how, things became as they are.
I don't want to kill you, but I will.
You always did have a high opinion of yourself, John. Dutch always said you were an arrogant son of a bitch. I guess he was about right.
He had a lot of passion, no love. Although he really admired Dutch, of course. But then we all did.
You was the leader of your little group of fortune hunters, ¿verdad?
When Dutch started falling apart, it hit Javier harder than any of them. He went crazy. It was like the one thing he'd ever believed in turned out to be a fraud.
You talk about him fondly.
It ain't exactly fondness. We was close once. But he never cared for me or anybody else. Not any of his so-called brothers. He left me to die. We had a chance to save him.
What you and Dutch did was wrong. And the way you left me was wrong. Now, I hate to judge, but as it turns out, it's you or me. The way I see it, might as well be you.
We thought you was dead, brother. I promise. I'm telling the truth. Besides, I can give you Bill. In Dutch. Dutch is in Colombia. I can take you straight to him.
You left me to die? To save your own skin, and now you expect me to care about you?
You got it all wrong, brother. I've always loved you. Even now.
It's over, man.
Of course. Of course. I surrendered, John. You're the master now.
I've been my master since you left me to die.
We all make mistakes, John. I never claimed to be a saint, but equally, I never took you for an errand boy.
So at this point, a lot of people do not know, but John and Abigail did have Jack by the time, while they were still in the group. And John did want to, leave the life and just lead a simple life for his family, so they don't have to be drawn about in this kind of mess that's going on. Especially Jack, but we already know what happens within the first game. I recommend you play it just so you can, catch up. And it just makes you wonder, maybe Dutch was starting to feel a bit threatened by John. I mean, he was practically the only person who sort of had sense, albeit with all the shit that they have done in the past. And even to some points where John does regret it, I guess you could say. I mean, he was just trying to make a living for himself, just like any other person would during that time and age. And hell, who knows what could happen during that time and age, because, law was cracking down on them. They were like the last of their kind before, everything just went to shit. And I can understand from John's point of view that, he doesn't want his son to be involved around this kind of stuff. Maybe it was because Dutch knew that, John was trying to leave the life and that he just wanted John to stay under him, just wrap him around his little finger, just be manipulative and whatnot. Or maybe you think that John was planning to overthrow him, which I don't see Marston actually doing because, he was just doing what needs to be done. He was just following orders under a man who felt as though he was righteous, even though, power can make a man just do simple, stupid shit. Not even simple shit, dumb stuff. It's just crazy and just mind-boggling. But I guess that's basically how you would put it, because other than that, who knows? Maybe Rockstar is going to make something very emotional out of the whole scene through Arthur's eyes. That a certain something happens which triggered all this shit to where John has to literally work for the government, the thing that he hates the most, because after they took his family, he had no choice. To where he would end up searching for the rest of his old gang members, and, that's how the story flies, unfortunately. I know this may have been short, but that's just something that triggered my thought process, to where it got me thinking, maybe this happened? Maybe this or that happened? Who knows? But knowing Rockstar, they're definitely going to pull some strings and, start connecting things together as they should be. But I wouldn't be surprised if something horrific happened within the process. But, after the first Red Dead Redemption game, anything is possible. While it was beautiful, it was in more ways than one tragic. But other than that, you guys have a nice day. Hope you, enjoy yourselves. Love you all, and peace.